Guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So now we are going to be looking at the macros, how to automate a task inside Excel, right? So here I have a scenario whereby every month I have to add the cells of the new month, and then I have to delete the older month, and then add a new month here. So I have to keep the records of the 12 months, but once we reach a new month, the older month has to go. I have to delete that, and then okay, I have to delete that, the older month, and then I have to highlight all of these, right? Drag it to the side so that I can add the new month on the side, right? Drag it to the side, so now you see fill months. You see like now we have August, and then the older August is gone with a new month here. So I have to keep the record of the 12 month cells. And then once I've done that, you have a new month. Then I take the cells of the new month, Control C, and then Control V, and then edit there. And then you can see the calculations they happen. And then let's say now is September. September, I do the same thing again. I delete the older September, I drag everything to the side. I drag this side, or I autofill this side. So it's a task that I do. I do the same thing every month. I do the same thing. So what I want to do is I want to automate this. I want to put it in one pattern so that Excel can or the macro can do this for me, right? I want to automate the task. So let me put in a let's record ourselves doing this, and then we put it in a pattern so that we can easily um, click one button and then we add all of this. So macros are designed for that. Okay, enough of me talking. Let's do this. Developer tab, right? So this is where you find the record macro, or you can also find it under view. There is macros there. You can find macros under view tab, but I'm going to be using the developer tab, right? And then you click the record, right? You have to give your macro a name. So this one we're going to give it, let's say monthly sales. It's a monthly sales. And then when you're naming your micro here, it mustn't be a space here. So between monthly and sales, there mustn't be a space there. That's why I'm using just an underscore just to avoid that. And then store macro in. So we have an option of storing the macro in the workbook, especially if the macro is relevant only on this workbook, then you store it on that workbook. There are some other macros where you will need to store them in a personal macro workbook. Personal macro workbook, it represents that okay, this macro will be stored in a location whereby every time when you open Excel, the macro will be available for you to use. So there's some other macros that you record or that you create that will be relevant on all of the Excel documents that you open. But for this scenario, you can see that this macro that we're recording is only for this particular page. So we're going to stick to, or we're going to add it to this workbook there. All right. And then I press OK. So now if I start clicking any patterns here, it will record, but this empty space is not recording it. It will record once I start clicking, dragging stuff, right? And then you can see here, it says ready. That means the macro is currently recording. Click to stop. So you can see this box shows you that the macro is currently being recorded, but it will only record the actions, the clicks, right? And then stop recording. Once you're done, you can come back and stop the recording. But let's start recording. So it will record this, highlighted that, and then I press delete. And then the next thing is I highlight all of these, and then I drag it to the side, right? And then I want to add the new month. Then I click on this, and then I drag it to the side, right? And then I change here, as you can see, it says 16 July, 17 July. I want a new month here, and then there, and then fill months. You can see now it says 16 August. And then I need to add the values for 16 August because this is we are on 16 August now, and then I need to add the cells for this month. Click there, all right, and then Control C, and then click there, and then you Control V, you paste that, and then you can see because these are calculated, this cells are calculated of these values here. Now changes there, and then I have to delete this part here. Let's say delete that. All right. So I'm done with my macro now because every month this is something that I'll be doing. So I stop the recording. So Excel or macro, it has recorded all of those steps. So stop recording. All right. Now I want to put it in a pattern here. I want a pattern whereby I can easily access it, right? I want a pattern where I can easily access it right here. Okay, so now I can go back to developer tab, click developer tab, and then under developer tab there is controls group there, and then click this one, and then I want this form control, which is a button. So I want a button that I can click, and then it will run all of this. And click there. I want to put my macro in a button there. You can see now Excel is asking me to, okay, which macro, since you have recorded so many macros or you created so many macros, which macro do you want to assign to this button? I want this one, right? Because that's the one that we recently created. And then say, okay, and then rename. I want to rename that to add this month sales. All right, so add this month sales. All right, so you can see now I have the button. Let's say now I add, let's say now we're in a new month, right? Let's say now the sales is, let's say maybe, let's say 600, right? And then I click this button. So the only thing that I'll be doing now going forward is just only adding the new cells on this, and then I press this button. I'm expecting it to automate or to just do the things that I was supposed to do manually for me. Then click there. You can see it moved to a new month, and then added these values, and then you can see now the calculated cells, they do change. So I've automated that entire process, right? Let's add another month. Let's add another values. You can see now on 16 September and then 15 October. So that means now we need the new cells for October right here. So let's say maybe we are in October now, and then we have new values there, and we press enter, and then I press there. You can see now we have the values for October there, right? Okay, so we've automated the task. It's working fine. Now the other thing is, you see this button now, add this month cells. If the macro, the problem with the macro is that once I click this by mistake, if I click this and then it runs by mistake, then all of the thing with the macro is that I can't undo the mistake that I've made. I can't undo that. So I need to have a button. I need to create a button that when I click this by mistake, it asks me that it prompts me that are you sure you want to run this? So I need to create a prompt button. So now we can go to Visual Basic. Okay, let me stop it right here, and then I'll show you how to do that on my next video on how to add a prompt button. So look out for my next video. It says